Hi, today I'm going to talk about my speech. So, for my speech, I'm going to say the word felony conviction. Now, when you think of a felony conviction, what brings to your mind? Either you've done something really bad once or you've done something really bad a few times. And when you do something bad, the same crime three times, you get what's called a felony conviction. It is upgraded to a felony. Um, so for me, 10, 11 years ago, I got caught stealing again at a store. I was young and dumb, of course. I got caught stealing at a store, and that landed me my felony conviction. Well, a felon on my record because once you get something for the third time, it's upgraded to a felony. I mean, three strikes, you're out, basically. So, three times the same crime causes you to have a felony. Consequences for the felony is when you first come home or when you first attempt to look for a job after you have done that felony, it's hard because a lot of jobs do not want someone with a felony background, especially stealing. I was young. I was really traumatic stuff going on in my life at that time, so I went to stealing instead of drugs or alcohol. I went to stealing, which is not good, as those other two aren't either. Um, I got that felony, and so I got out. I was 19 when I got out of jail. I spent 4 months in jail, and when I got out, I had nowhere to live. I had to go and stay with different people, and it was just a rocky road. So I finally got my life on track in 20 when I turned 21. I got my GED. I from when I got out of jail, I never stole again, and I still don't to this day. The consequences of having a felony on your background is a lot. You can't get a certain jobs won't hire you. Um, so it just makes it really hard to live life, especially being 21 and becoming an adult where I'm trying to live on my own and I'm trying to do things by myself without the help of anybody else, which I didn't have. Um, it's not right to steal because when you steal, you don't realize what happens and you don't realize the consequences if you get caught. Some people can steal all their life and never get caught. But once you do and it becomes a bad habit, there's many consequences. Stealing isn't right. You know, if you can't afford to buy it, or if you can afford to buy it and you're not, just to save money, that's not right either. Um, if you need help, there are ways to get help for the things that you need. There are plenty of places. I would go back in time. I would ask for the help instead of stealing it, or I would find a way to make money if I didn't have a job, babysitting, cleaning, mowing, anything to do other than stealing is better. Um, I want you guys to get from my speech and my message how a felony can mess up your life. Nobody is perfect, and I'm not any less of a person just because I have a felony on my record. My felony is 11 years old, so jobs usually do background checks from 7 to 10 years old, but I have a job that I've been at for 7 years. So at this particular moment, a job is not the first thing on my mind. But although my background is 11 years old, I still get down about it and I still wish I could go back. Obviously, I can't, but I wish I could. But I still get depressed and upset sometimes because, I wanted to be a nurse, and being a nurse, you cannot have a felony on your record. So I had to change my school degree a couple times based on um, research that I did with felonies. Certain jobs and certain places won't hire you. Um, a felony can really mess up your future. You can really screw up your life having a criminal background. Misdemeanors aren't the same. They're not as high up as a criminal. Misdemeanors are misdemeanors. They can go away. They come off your record. Some felonies don't come off of your record. They're on there for the rest of your life. So people do judge, and jobs do judge. They're not judging, but they have their reasons and their rules. I also want you to understand that I'm not sure if anyone else is going through this or has no one going through this, but understand that we are people. Just because we have a background doesn't make us any less of a person. And I want you to learn from my mistakes and my lessons that it's just not worth it. There's plenty of people to talk to. There's counselors. There's groups. There's people who have went through the same thing you have went through. I went through traumatic times back in that time when I was stealing. Um, my life was not the best. My life is not the best now, but I'm able to provide and I'm able to buy what I need. So stealing is no longer an option, and it hasn't been for the past 11 years. I did spend 4 months in jail. So that took me to understand and, gave me a lot of time to think about what I did and why it's not. So just for my speech, it may be rambled and it may be a little out of place or confusing to some and not interesting to some, and some are just may judge me, and that's fine. You're perfectly fine to judge. Everyone has their opinion on certain things, but just remember when you deal with people that just because someone has a criminal background doesn't make them any less of a person. I have a criminal background for stealing, and certain jobs, like I said once before, won't let you apply. They won't hire you. But on most applications, it says in the past 7 to 10 years, have you been convicted of a crime? And I'm finally able to put no because it has been 11 years as of May. So I just want you guys to appreciate my speech and understand where, as a person with the criminal background, comes from, that I'm just the same as everyone else.